Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Paris Art and Movie Awards. It's a special thing we are doing today because it's kind of a two birds with one stone situation. This is the first episode of the second season of Spotlight, the show we started last year. And it's also the guest we have today is also the first guest for the first edition of the winter session. We are going to talk filmmaking as always. And my guest today is Matthias Schweighöfer. And I hope I said the name right. Did I, Matthias?
You did. You did.
Okay.
You said it. That was perfect. That was great.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy to have you. I'm very happy we get the time to discuss. I was watching Army of the Dead not long ago on Netflix. And right after that, like many people did, I watched Army of Thieves on Netflix again. And I say, hey, this guy was acting in the first, and now he's directing the second one. So I looked a little bit deeper into your career, what you did. And I found you to be some kind of the perfect guest to start the second season of Spotlight, because you direct, you produce, you're an actor, you are a creator in the whole sense of the term, if I may. So what should people know in France about you? Because they know you from Army of the Dead and the Snyder collaboration, but you've been working in movies for a long time. What do you want people to know about you outside of Army of the Dead and Army of Thieves?
Thank you for this beautiful introduction, and yeah, I think what I would love the French people to know, it's I kind of, I'm a very Frenchy guy. I love France. I spend every year in the south of France, and when I was younger, when I was 19, 20. I fell, in love with Arthur Rimbaud, and I thought, okay, what a great writer. He was crazy. So, and one of my best friends, closest friends, he's living in the Marais, but we started to live together, like with 1920, I lived at the Rue Le Pic in Paris. And
did you?
Montmartre, and I was like, I was in love. I love France, and
how long did you live in Paris?
With traveling back and forth since 2 years.
2 years. That's a long time. That's enough to, I don't want to say to call yourself a Parisian, but that's long enough to really leave the actual daily life of people in a place. Yeah,
and it was great. And, I started, my whole, my parents, they're actors. And so my whole family is a very theater, very arty family.
Oriented,
and so I fell in love anyway with the whole art house French thing, Truffaut,
the new wave, all the classics that we learned in school, or that we usually, in my case, I discovered the classic of French cinema later in life. I discovered movies with Hollywood, and then getting to know movie making and the origins and Paris. I mean, and with the PAMA, we've been lucky enough with the festival. We've been lucky enough to work with historic places, historic venues in Paris, movie theaters, and there's so much in Paris that you can learn and that you can enjoy if you look at it in the right way and if you make yourself available for that.
Yeah, it's true.
So you made a lot of movies and TV shows in Germany. You've done quite a bunch of comedies as an actor and as a director. And then you landed that role in Army of the Dead. And it started with just a basic self-tape, correct?
That's very true. 100% true. That's right. That's correct, sir. Yeah.
Can you tell me the story of that?
It was... I did a show for Amazon Prime called You Are Wanted. And with this show, I found a fantastic agent in the US. And like every actor who starts new in a new country, you have your invitation to put yourself on tape for different films. And there was one film called Army of the Dead, and I didn't recognize because we had a day I was shooting a film in Germany, and we had a we had a day, and I didn't recognize that actually I thought it was a film produced by Zack Snyder, but not like directed by Zack Snyder. So I thought like, okay, let's do this. Sounds great. I love Zack Snyder, and but then my agent called me and said, no, it's not only produced by him, and he's the director.
He's directing it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was so nervous that I thought, oh, because every time I did like tapings for Pirates of the Caribbean or for Lord of the Rings, and when you receive these pages, you fell in love immediately with the idea of what if
I make the cut and I'm gonna end up in these big movies.
Yeah, so I've been pretty nervous, and I didn't think about, okay, what if, because Zack Snyder is one of my huge favorite directors in the world.
So when you made the self tape, did you know he was directing, or did you learn that later?
I learned it like half a day later.
Okay, so good. So you didn't have that much pressure when you taped it.
And that was the key, because then Zack called me and said, hey, you're in. There was one day he was like, hello, my name is Zack Snyder, and you're in the film.
I've heard a few of these stories when people just tape things, go to auditions, and they get a call from Spielberg, from John Wayne, and they you got in.
Yeah.
That's going to be you. So you have Zack Snyder on the phone. He's calling you. So and you don't know it's him because you don't have his number at the time. So you just pick up the phone.
Yeah, it was an American number. It was something plus one.
Something plus one. Yeah. Hello, good afternoon. This is Zack Snyder. I want to tell you that we selected you for Army of the Dead.
Yes.
How did you react? What do you say? What do you respond to him?
Yeah, I think I started to scream like Dieter in Army of the Dead, and I was I thought I passed out, but I was really happy because the good thing was it felt so grounded because I was in Germany, I was in Berlin, and it felt like so far away. And then he told me about, you have to come over to New Mexico. We'll shoot there for 5 months. And I thought, okay, oh my God, I have 2 kids. How do I do that? And so I talked to the kids and I said, hey, Daddy will leave to America. And they've been, I have to do a film. Come on, let's do this. And
so you had family support. That's good.
So I had my family support, and here we are. It's that was one of the best days of my life. That was amazing. I was and
it doesn't stop there, because Army of the Dead, based on what I found, information I found, started shooting June 15, 2019, and a little bit a year later, October 2020, because people loved your character so much. Your character, Ludwig steals the show in Army of the Dead. Definitely. This, if you remember one thing, it's him. Or maybe you remember the zombie tiger. I don't know. Depends on who you are and what you like. But definitely the character became a fan favorite. So a sequel was greenlighted at Netflix, Army of Thieves. And again, who calls you to tell you that? Did Zack Snyder told you, hey, we're going to make a prequel? Or did you go to Zack to tell him, oh, we should make that? What do you think about it? How did it go between Army of the Dead and Army of the Thieves?
Zack told me that when they invented and they had, when they first had their first ideas about doing Army of the Dead and to build a franchise, he always thought about a spin-off for one of the characters. And on the first day, Zack and me met on set, and I did my introduction scene in Army of the Dead, and it was like in the original edit, it was like 14 minutes long. But on that day when we shot that scene, he thought, wow, that's a pitch for a spin-off. Because it was the whole story about the Wagner safes and blah, blah, blah. So in the movie now, in Army of the Dead, the scene is only 2.5 minutes. So, after a while, Zack was familiar with my work. He watched You Are Wanted, and he watched me on set. And after a while, he had an idea, and he talked to the producers and to the people of Netflix, and they said, "Okay, why not? Let's try it." And then they had a first test screening for the film, and it looked like that the character is really likable. And yeah,
it was definitely.
Zack called me the other day again and said, "Come on, let's meet for coffee." And he said, "Hey, we would love to make a prequel for Army of the Dead, and we would love you to direct and star in the film."
So he told you from the get-go that he wanted you to direct the prequel.
Yeah, first